Oh, hey everybody, what's up? Oh, hey, welcome. Woo, woo, woo. Welcome to Crossing the Streams, where we answer the universal question: what should I binge watch next? I just watched something. I gotta watch something else. We have come to the right place. We've got over 115 hours.
My Lord,
watching suggestions on our YouTube channel. I know it's crazy. So you can check out all the past episodes. Tons of great stuff there for you to digest and then watch and then all that kind of good stuff. So, but let's kick off. Let's let Bob start with the.
Bobby.
Oh, hey! I have my Mike Reno hat on, my lover boy. All right, here's the story of some lonely fellows who spend way too much time watching the TV. All of them have jobs and friends. Well, not really, just between you and me.
Marcy.
They made a live show out of their hobby. Every TV watcher's TV watching dream. Jeff, Ron, Sal, and Bob, and then there's Marcy. They call it Crossing Streams.
There you go. Sal.
And then one day they went live on all the platforms. You could hear the people laugh and shout and scream. Still can't find another word that rhymes with platform, but man, they crossed the streams.
All together now.
They cross the streams.
Hey,
we cross the streams.
They cross the streams.
That's the way we do it here. We cross the streams.
They cross the streams.
Do.
I can't believe I made it into the song.
Oh, you're in. You were in the lyrics.
I was in the lyrics. It's official.
You get residuals.
We updated.
Thank you.
I do real quick. Rest in peace, Iron Sheik.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I tell you, I'm gonna miss him a lot on Twitter.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah, all he did was tell people to F off. But it was
the Iron Sheik.
Oh,
yeah, the Iron Sheik was so funny on Twitter. Very to the point.
Yeah.
Did not mince words.
The Iron Sheik.
Back when wrestling was classic.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to say, I know we're all friends with, I don't know if Marcy knows, but Nate Armbruster. Went and saw him at the castle. You guys, he's got a special on YouTube you guys can watch too. I think it's got tons of views. He was great. He was
great.
It was great, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yep. Funny guy.
He's great.
I sat front row off to the side. I got in trouble because I just walked back into the green room like I own the place, and it was a lot of fun. Hey Jerry, what's up?
Jerry, how are you?
Jerry.
Lee, good to see you, sweetie.
Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Lippy Pants.
Ron Lippett on Delta Flight 7.
The camel.
Ron will be heckling from where are you at right now, Ron? Ron's traveling.
Dubai.
He's on a camel somewhere.
Probably. What was that? What was that?
Oh, here. Oh, I'm sorry. Ron's thing got cut off. The camel clutch. Much better. Anyway, it's a Nate special. Everyone should go look for it. It was
Nate's
really funny.
Great, man. Proud of the kid, man. He's all grown.
Yeah, he really knocked it out of the park.
Awesome.
It was,
and he's just right here from Detroit, and
he's from Detroit.
He's in Chicago now.
Nice.
He started when he was like 17. It's crazy.
He had a couple moments during the show I was at where just live moments happened, and it was funny. He made a joke about he was making a joke about there's more Netflix, something about Netflix serial killer. I don't remember what it was, but some woman yells and he goes, "I'll start with you," and then it just the whole place kind of just blew up. It was really funny.
Yeah,
I felt VIP. He gave me tickets. He got me tickets. So
I know that joke. Well, you are a VIP. I know that joke. It's the Ted Bundy thing.
That's about the mother.
Yes, and how he broke out of jail twice just to kill again. That's commitment.
Lippy,
hey, look at this guy. What?
Nice.
I'm only coming in just to say hello. I don't want to distract. Like, hello, greetings.
That's awesome.
greetings from the sports book at the Westgate.
Yes,
Nice.
man.
Nice.
Yes. Oh, he's at the Westgate. You got to go to the Comedy Cabaret and see my friend Kathleen Dunbar.
Close.
Nice.
It's done?
The club
I will
closed.
check it
Yeah.
out.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
All right. Well,
That's
you're looking good, Ron. You're looking.
yeah,
that
you
where
look
you
great, buddy.
Does he work
Yeah.
there? Where do you work there, Ron?
He's a-
He's under in the second half. The
He's a
final.
pit boss.
Yeah, he's moonlighting. So what else? Oh, all right. That's good. All right. We got a good
Oh,
show.
you got live updates now. On
Yeah,
the
live updates. We got
streams.
people just buzzing
Marcy,
in.
where are you going? We got to send you something.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Oh wait, so
I'm going to Northville.
last week we talked about Smartless on the road, the Iron Giant, All Quiet on the Western Front, Love and Death, and we were robbed of About My Father because of an electrical issue.
Yes.
Yes.
But
Oh, right.
we have it today. We have
got
it
it.
today. And we're going to talk Unsolved Mysteries, Bodies and Bags. This is Bob's little theme. He loves to bring us the Unsolved Mysteries. Platonic, About My Father, and Jury Duty.
Wait a minute. Was that the Pauly Shore jury duty?
No.
Okay.
We said that last week.
Oh, all right. I missed
No, it's
it.
not Pauly Shore.
All right. Well, I don't know. I'm back in time. I'm wearing my Mike Reno headband. So
Well, we'll kick off with Jury
Jury
Duty.
duty.
That'll-
That'll clear everything up.
Okay, so Jury Duty. I know, Jeff, you saw this. And obviously, Bob, you haven't seen it.
no, not yet.
Sal, have you seen this? You know what this Jury Duty is?
No, I haven't
You guys
seen it.
remember a show 2003 called Joe Schmo?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is fake. You get a bunch of actors and one sucker who has no idea that everything around him is fake.
That's right.
And
That's right.
that's Jury Duty.
Okay.
Now, it is okay. So here's the best part. This is why I binge watched it. It started on Freevee, which is owned by Amazon, and Freevee has commercials. There's no getting around these commercials, and it starts with ad 1 out of 1, and then you're up to ad 6 out of 6. I forget it. Jury Duty, I don't think was good enough for commercials, and I think Jeff watched it with commercials. It's on Amazon Prime now without commercials, which is what drew me back to it. 8 episodes, about 26 to 29 minutes each one, so super quick.
Okay.
And you have Ronald Gladden, this 29-year-old, nice, sweet, just generous, kind, good old-fashioned guy. He was brought up right. He cares about everyone. He's not an idiot, and he's adorable. And he replied to an ad in Craigslist because they're looking for people who want to be on a documentary involving juries. And they dupe this guy into thinking that he's going to be looking at a real trial and while also having cameras in front of his face and go through the whole being on a jury thing. And it really interests him. I believe, if I remember correctly, that there was like 25,000 or 250,000 applicants, like so many people. It was very lengthy. These people who do the casting do a great job. They found the perfect guy. He was amazing, and I'm sure that Jeff will say that he was great. That's what I'm thinking. But in any case, so there's a whole judge and a whole trial, and it's funny, and it's so stupid. It's ridiculous.
And it's a trial where this guy has no idea this is all a dog and pony.
And the trial is ridiculous. And the defense attorney is an idiot and just, knocks over the television that he's supposed to be showing, some evidence on. And just like everything goes wrong. It's hilarious. It just goes back and forth from being just the dumbest thing in the world.
So worse than Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani is what you're saying.
It's so much more entertaining. Anyway, so I'm going to give you some fun facts about this show. So the creators are from The Office. Lee Eisenberg, Gene Stupinski or something. My handwriting is awful right here. They are writers and producers of The Office. So, pretty funny show, right? The judge is a real attorney, but his sons are who are they? They are Ike Barinholtz and his brother John from like the Mindy Project, and like he's done Amy Schumer movies. And I mean, I love Ike Barinholtz. I think he was in an Apple show recently, like After
Very
Party.
funny.
I mean, just I love him.
Now wait,
so they got their dad to do it, to be the judge, and he's great. I mean, he really seemed like he was the judge. Let's see. The cast did a great job. All the actors, they're such goofy characters. They're really, really funny. I mean, one woman can't stay awake. This old Jewish lady cannot stay awake. And it's the foreman's job. Who do you think the foreman is? It's our guy, Ron, who thinks everything is real. He's got to keep her awake, and she keeps falling asleep. So she comes in one day, and she's taken like a sativa cookie. She's like, no problem. She's got this tie-dye on, and he's like, okay, good idea. Let's see what else. Okay, so a couple other things. James Marsden, if I'm pronouncing his name right, very famous. He was in Hairspray the musical movie, like The Notebook. He plays himself. So he is a real actor in California who can't be on a jury because he's too busy and too famous. So he's a big part of the show, and he really, some critics say it's his best role he's ever played. And he does a really good job because it's a lot of improvising. He's, kind of makes some problems for everyone being famous and kind of being entitled. He gets them sequestered. Is that the right word? Like, so they have to stay in a hotel. Part of the whole thing of they got to keep this guy away from the public. He can't be with his family. He can't be with his phone. They take phone, he can't know. They have to keep this a secret. So like I said, it's 8 episodes. 7 episodes.
8? Wow.
It's short. And we're talking a half an hour. I almost watched it in a day. Okay, so interest rates are really high and the market sucks. So I got a lot of time on my hands. I watched this thing in a day. Anyway, it is a ton of fun. And now that the commercials are gone, I suggest you all get on Amazon Prime and you start watching this. They will put you through 7 episodes. We'll show you exactly how they end up telling him. And he impressed me, impressed everyone. I think he did a great job keeping his cool on a lot of stuff. And then the 8th episode, they take him behind the scenes and say, hey man, remember when you were standing here? There's a person in this with a camera, and showed him all the behind the scenes. And it took him months to get over it, to realize that. So
it makes sense. Okay. So, but Marsden being there as playing himself makes sense. It's not going to tip the guy off that he's being pranked. But Ike Barinholtz is one of the funniest.
Oh, but it's his dad.
Oh, it's his dad.
His father plays he called his dad and said, Dad, some show is looking for someone who's a lawyer or someone who's done some improv.
Okay.
We think, John and I think you'd be perfect for it. So they reached out to him. But then a lot of the other actors, they've done stuff. So they were very worried. I read an article that when he answered his question during one of his interviews that he does not have HBO Max, they were like, okay, he's still in, because if you have HBO Max, then you're going to notice that one of our actors is on this show, and we can't have you recognizing anyone. So they were extremely thorough. He says in an interview that he almost dropped out. The interview process was so long and so intense that he was like, it's getting a little out of hand. But then he was like, but then again, I don't have a job right now, so what else do I do? And of course, they paid him. He did get a surprise when he, and it's just, it's so Joe Schmo. And when they reveal everything to him, I got a little teary-eyed, I was like, I kind of felt bad for him. It's got to hurt to find out that the last 2 weeks of your life has been a lie, and all of your new friends are not exactly who you think they are. That's a dupe. I felt bad for him, just like I did Joe Schmo 20 years ago.
So the guy, okay, so now I'm intrigued. I'm going to watch this now.
I hope you do.
So the guy who's being pranked for 2 weeks out of his life,
Ron, yeah.
So he had to obviously sign something. He couldn't sign anything. He said, you're going to be pranked for 2 weeks out of your life.
Right.
But he had to sign something that said, this is going to be, you're going to be filmed.
No,
you're
he
gonna
thought
be
he was making a documentary.
A documentary
of the
about being on
process.
a jury. And he thought he
Ugh.
was being invited on being a real juror.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now there
Okay.
was one actor on here, Kirk Fox, who, I mean, he looked right out of Parks and Rec. I mean, just like, I mean, he was in Parks and Rec. I mean, he was a reoccurring character. He was like the sewer guy. But I was like, oh, they could have at least had him shave or something. But here's the thing, and tell me, Marcy, if you thought
Yeah.
this is. It's so when this show was revealed to the public to watch, it was here's one guy, and he's the only one that doesn't know this is fake. But if
Yeah.
you're watching it, it doesn't seem like that's what they're actually going for. It seems like they were going to originally try and fool us completely, which
Okay.
doesn't make 100% sense because there's clearly actors in there that are recognizable. But they'll talk to the camera as
like they're the real character.
like
Yes.
yeah, it just
And
something-
Joe Schmo, they would, when they talk to the actors, they'd say like, wow, that was a really close one. I almost thought that he was going to know it. But, you know, all the time they spoke about being actors and duping Joe Schmo. But in this, when they talk to the camera, I'm like, why are you talking to me? I already know you're fake. Like, what?
Yeah.
You're right.
yeah,
I
like,
mean,
they
there was
would
a sex
clearly,
scene. I'm
do-
like, why are you filming the sex scene? Even though it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'm glad.
Did you say a sex scene
there is
Yeah.
a fake sex scene that is, I mean,
in a
It's like you have to
courtroom?
yeah.
no, because
Oh.
they're in a hotel. Now
Okay.
they're all in
They're
a hotel.
sequestered.
They're
I-
sequestered.
I will say my opinion of this show is, and I do think you should watch it. So
Okay.
is though that it's kind of like an inverted pyramid where it gets less hilarious, but at the beginning it's hilarious.
Oh,
like
okay.
there's some things in the beginning that are really, really funny. There's this social media person on the stand that's just one of the funniest things ever. And some of the early stuff is laugh out loud funny. But then eventually, I think it could have been 4 episodes. You know what I mean? Now, the last episode where they reveal it, or where they show you all the behind the scenes stuff, that's a pretty cool episode, how they pulled it off.
Okay.
And the interesting thing when they do reveal it to Ron in episode 7, is you kind of realize like what a genuinely good human being this person is. And he didn't know he was being filmed. And I think what they were going for, which I think a lot of us would have done, maybe not me, but for sure Sal, is no, I was kidding, is you know, kind of you know, smack talked, right? Like I think that's what they were kind of going for. And this guy did not have a bone of that in his body. I mean, he was, no matter what happened to him, he was genuinely the nicest person in the world.
Right.
And,
But I could
Ryan
still
Reynolds.
tell, like he wasn't a moron. I respected him. I just,
Okay.
and that's what I'm saying. The casting, they did a great job finding this guy. And I will tell you, he has got to have girls. I mean, like writing to him. I mean, this guy, and I almost think that he might have had a girlfriend going into this. But they could possibly end up with some problems because he's getting a lot of attention because you
Okay.
fall in love with him. He's,
Yeah.
you know, he's tall and he's handsome and he's so kind. He cares about everyone, and he could have at so many times lost his cool, and he didn't. I don't think they ever had to beep him.
Now what? Now, okay, so I'm trying to understand at what point would he lose his cool? Why would he lose his cool?
No, he never did.
But I guess I'm saying
because all right. So like for example,
in a normal situation,
I want to hear what you
he's
choose.
just a juror. Why would he lose his
so
cool?
for example, we need unanimous vote to get out of this room, right? And one guy is purposely voting against the group.
Okay, I got you. All right.
And he like expertly talks this guy off whatever cliff he's on and gets him to vote with the rest and change his vote.
Okay, all right.
Like little things like that, or working with the woman that was always sleeping that Marcy mentioned. And this guy's so popular. He's popular when Ryan Reynolds grabs him for one of his Mint Mobile commercials.
Oh, I did not know that. I did not know that. But I did read that James Marsden and him have remained friends. And
okay, that's
so
cool.
It's really
I like that.
cool.
Wow.
Now that-
I like James Marsden. I learned a lot about him.
I
And I just
like
loved
him
it.
too, and I didn't like him for a while, but then he was in Westworld, and he's a very sympathetic character in that show. You like him. You don't want him to get shot over and over again, and he does. Teddy is his name. So anyway,
Okay.
good
Dead
review.
to Me.
Good
Dead to Me
review.
is recently, I've been a fan of that show for the last few years or so, and he's good. But and Hairspray is probably my favorite. And I didn't remember him from The Notebook, which is so funny because that's what everyone says. That's what he says.
I never
the
saw
other
it.
guy in The Notebook, and I'm like, I don't remember you being in that.
Oh,
And he was X-Men. He was
And he was
Cyclops.
X-Men,
yeah, that's right.
So go
Oh.
watch on Amazon Prime.
Amazon
Okay.
Prime. All
Yeah,
right,
good
check
one.
it out. Or if
Yeah,
you like
good one.
commercials, go
Yeah.
to Freevee. And the only reason, here's the best part about, if you like breaks, the best part about like Freevee commercials is it gives you the 60-second countdown. So I got 60 seconds. Go, go, go.
Or
you know where you
There's
stand.
a pause button on your remote control.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there is one of those.
What? Mind blown.
Oh no! All right, the people have been writing in left and right. We have waited. We can wait no longer for the review of About My Father, the Sebastian Maniscalco. Sal, take it away.
Well, okay. So yeah, I saw this a couple weeks ago. This is like Jeff said. This is the I guess it's and that's kind of part of my review is I think what might have done this movie is not as well in the box office for the first weekend was maybe a lot of people thought this was going to be something else because the movie's titled About My Father. It's a relationship between Sebastian Maniscalco and his father. And when he gets engaged to a rich girl, which he really did in real life, and she has a rich parents, and he takes his father to July 4th weekend getaway. He's got to bring his dad there, and all antics. Then that's kind of like the theme of the movie. But the relationship between him and his father is kind of real from his obviously upbringing with his father, and his father's kind of that Italian father played by Robert De Niro. Obviously, you get De Niro in a movie, people are gonna come see it, obviously, or people might not come see it. In today's society, I know we're kind of riffing a little bit about politics before the show, but politics are getting into our movie industry, and maybe some people are pissed off that De Niro was in it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But let's just review the movie. Let's not go into that. So I think there was some mixed messages in this movie, but with that, because I would have liked to have seen more of his relationship with his father, maybe when he was a kid, kind of a little bit of his stand-up, the bits that he wrote about, and maybe see that come to life on the screen. I think I would have liked to see that, almost like a My Big Fat Greek Wedding kind of little bit. Not obviously, you don't want to just copy that movie, but maybe a little bit of that in there, a little bit of his upbringing. They didn't really have that, but hey, this is his first movie that he wrote, Sebastian Maniscalco, that is. And I think he can do a couple more of these because it wasn't a very long movie. I think it was 90 minutes. There's some really good scenes in there. Kim Cattrall plays his mother-in-law. The father was a really, I thought he was a really good character in this as well. It's got its characters other than Sebastian and Robert De Niro in this that I thought had some good moments. There was some good joke writing in this movie because Sebastian wrote it. So you can tell it had that stand-up kind of flair to it with some of the jokes. Like I said, I don't want to give the movie away. It's kind of just came out a couple weeks ago. There's some really good, funny moments. And, I know a lot about Sebastian just because he's a stand-up and maybe that Italian heritage. And I've always been a big fan of his stand-up for many years. And one of the things I know about him is he was a big John Ritter fan. He watched Three's Company growing up, just like we all did. And that's why he's got physical antics in his comedy on stage, is because he was a John Ritter fan. So you see that in this movie as well. There's a scene where he's like on one of these hoverboard I don't know, tubing kind of thing. I'm not a big tube guy or whatever. What do you call that stuff?
Neither am I, Sal. I think
I just don't
the
do
thought of
water
the
sport
two of
thing.
us.
But there's like a funny scene where he's kind of his pants come down, and his whole in-law family sees him with his pants down, kind of thing. That kind of reminds you of like a Three's Company skit.
Mhm.
So I think that's where his inspiration came from there. Good moments between him and Robert De Niro. Some heartfelt moments and stuff like that. Also some very funny moments, but some of it, kind of just fell flat for me a little bit. But again, Sebastian Maniscalco is a stand-up comedian. He's not a movie director. He's not a movie writer. So this was his first kind of crack at it. And all in all, I thought it was a decent movie. I really did. I thought it was a good movie for what he was trying to do. But I think I could see people not going to see it or telling people not to go see it because it's not about Sebastian's childhood upbringing, and maybe that might have mixed messages with people on why it didn't do so well at the box office. But other than that, I liked it. I know Bob Phillips saw it too. I'm not sure if Jeff and Marcy saw it, but that's my take on it. It wasn't like the greatest movie of all time, but it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of good moments in it. De Niro was fantastic in it. Sebastian had some really, really good moments in it. So all in all, I liked it, but I just didn't go crazy for it.
Is someone streaming it without paying for it right now? Who's got it?
No, he went.
No,
to
I
the
went
theater.
to go see it. I went to go
Yeah.
see
Oh, you
it.
went to the theater?
Yeah, I streamed it through my phone so I could so I could put it on this show. I watched it through my phone.
Bob, did you see it also?
I did see it, and I wanted to like it, but it turned out to be exactly what I thought it was going to be from the previews. It was a watered down, less funny Meet the Parents. It was almost an exact that whole storyline was exactly Meet the Parents. An uncomfortable meeting between Ben Stiller and I forget the gal's name in that movie, but it was Robert De Niro. He was the antagonist, right? Well, Robert De Niro is now the lovable Italian father, so they flip that a little bit, and they're meeting this waspy East Coast moneyed, connected family, and I kept thinking, when is this movie going to be about my father? Because I thought this was going to be, all of the goofy things that Robert De Niro did as an Italian father, and things that Sebastian that irritated him, and how he was going to embarrass him in front of this, his prospective in-laws. Robert De Niro didn't do anything embarrassing. I didn't see one I don't understand it. And while I was watching it, I'm like, oh, I'm so disappointed for Sal, because I wanted this movie to be better for my buddy, just because of Sal's heritage and knowing, that he loves Maniscalco and De Niro. I was bored silly. That's all I can say.
I liked it a lot better than that, Bob, just because I like seeing some people that, first of all, I love seeing stand-ups on this big screen. Whenever I see stand-ups, like I saw Bill Burr in a couple of movies, and just throughout the years, you just see stand-ups in movies. You just feel good. You're like, oh, cool. They went from stand-up.
Yes, I like that too.
So I like seeing that. And then I've always been a De Niro fan my whole life. So seeing those two on screen was enough for my dollar, But I hear what you're saying too. I can see probably why people would say what you're saying, but I enjoyed it.
Remember? I'm glad that's all that counts, because there was enough people in the country that enjoyed it that Rotten Tomatoes didn't completely beat it up, and it's a pleasant diversion for 90 minutes. Don't expect too much, and you'll be entertained. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be taking over your interview.
No.
Your review.
No.
The thing that you and I talked about the other night on the Sal and Bob show was that there were so many similarities to the Meet the Parents, even down to Jinx the cat, right? I mean, Ben Stiller kills the cat. I don't want to give anything away here, but Robert De Niro also kills an animal in this movie.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, doesn't anybody see that this is the same story? There was
Yeah.
a
De
little bit.
Niro do this.
Nice. No, no, he didn't. No, there was none of that tension. There was no tension. There was just, I kept waiting for Robert De Niro to do something colossally embarrassing to Maniscalco, and it never happened. He was just a lovable kind of guy. So
yeah, it might have been missing a little bit of something to go, because like even in Meet the Parents and all that, there was some kind of gruesome, not gruesome, but scenes where you laugh because something happened. You didn't really see that in this.
yeah.
Well, let me ask you a
You have that
question.
moment.
Let me ask you a question. Is I know you saw it in the theater and you paid, but how would you feel about it if you had seen it for free on TV?
If you talking about Bob or
No,
me?
both.
That's it's your review.
Yeah.
Either of you.
You know what? I mean, you know, I think I saw it at like 9 a.m. So I still ate popcorn. I can't.
Were there
believe it.
babies in the theater? Were a bunch of mother groups?
I was literally one of 2 people in this movie theater. I felt like I was Elvis, but I saw it in the morning because I had shit to do that day. So I went and saw it at 9 a.m. I still got popcorn at 9 a.m.
I would have too, buddy.
How do you not get popcorn if you're at the movie
Right.
theater? It doesn't
I
matter.
I drink wine.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
At 9 a.m. you had wine?
Wow.
No, that was like 11 a.m. But I'm one of these guys that it doesn't bother me if a movie is bad unless it's like intentionally bad or just so I don't know what the word is. I've never walked out of a movie saying, "Oh, I can't believe I paid $15 for that." I mean, it's $15, and you're watching $100 million of stuff go on. So I don't care about that.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
It's not the
agree.
money,
That's
it's the
kind of
time.
that's kind of what.
Yeah, it's the
I
time.
can't believe I just gave them 2 hours for
Yeah.
that.
Correct.
That's it.
They owe me.
Not the money. Yeah.
I don't want the money.
I agree. It's the time. It's
Yeah.
So yeah, that didn't bother me. I thought, you know, I mean, to answer Jeff's question, I didn't go on. The reason I was kind of trying to set that up was I didn't go on a Friday night, have dinner,
Right.
be crowded,
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
next to people,
They
and
didn't
then
have
see that
some
movie.
wine and some spaghetti.
Yeah, I saw it kind of, you know, chilled out in the morning, and I just did it was almost like I did stream it, but
there was one that you and I saw right before the pandemic, which was Uncut Gems. That was worth every penny. We were drinking in the movies.
Did you love Uncut Gems?
I fucking love that.
Loved it.
Loved it.
There's a lot of people that do
mayhem. They're crazy. It's mayhem right from the start.
Yeah.
Sal and I are inveterate gamblers. We're watching this going, oh my God, I need give me the paddles. Clear, boom. Because our heart is stopping at the shit that Adam Sandler was doing on that screen, right?
Wow.
That was worth every second and every penny.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the viral clip of I think it was a girlfriend of the writer who goes, I was out of that. I was the inspiration for Uncut Gems.
Yeah. Yes, I did see that.
Will you send that to? I haven't seen that.
Uncut Gems.
Oh, really? That was like
Uncut Gems.
Oh,
Sal and I were sitting next to each other on a Sunday morning, and it was like 9:30 a.m. showing, wasn't it? Or 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And there was another dozen reprobate gamblers like us, all dudes, in groups of 2, dotted around this theater, and all of us are going, no.
That's awesome.
That's really funny.
That's great.
Oh, all right. Well,
okay. So Uncut Gems, go see that.
Uncut Gems about my father.
And I'll say one last thing. Sal's review of About My Father is exactly why I love Sal, because Sal sees good in everything. Sal is 100% Sal, no matter where it is, what time of day it is, where he's going. His default setting is happy, and I'm a dick. So
no, I like I said, it was funny. It was a funny movie, filmed in Alabama, and it didn't take long to do. They spent a lot of time. I think they filmed it for 8 weeks. And
that's pretty quick.
We popped that movie up pretty quick, man.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move
Paycheck
on.
for De Niro's kid.
Nice.
Paycheck for De Niro's kid. His new baby.
All right. Up next is a new TV show, Platonic.
And that's you. All right.
It's me.
All
All
right.
right. So this is interesting. Okay. So do you guys have shows that you watch, but it doesn't matter how fast you get through them, and they're just kind of there when you're bored or tired or need a break from another show you're working on? So Platonic is that perfect show for you. Now, let me preface by saying you probably need to be. I enjoy Seth Rogen and Rose Byrne in this. They're the stars. Are very enjoyable. I like Seth Rogen. I've heard people go, I don't like Seth Rogen, but I don't know what there's not to like about Seth Rogen.
He's a funny guy.
I find him funny and delightful. So this show is about former childhood friends who reconnect as adults. So Rose Byrne, Sylvia, and Seth Rogen, Will, were besties, but just platonic besties. Like they were just really close. They did everything together, and like really probably so much so that you get the impression it excludes everyone else. Like everything in their lives revolved around their friendship, but it really was nothing more than that. And so she gets married. We flash forward. She's married. She finds out through Instagram that Seth Rogen's character is divorced. So she feels bad. She talks to her husband, who's a very understanding guy, and says, well, just reach out to him. And, because the reason they stopped talking was she had basically told him that the person he was about to marry was horrible. And so that broke up their friendship. So now we're flash forward many years. They're divorced. They reconnect.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, they reconnect over coffee. They're talking. It's the most uncomfortable scene between two people who haven't seen each other and aren't really sure how to reconnect. It felt really real. It's a great scene. It really is. And then they sort of reconnect their friendship. Okay. And so I can't tell you what the goal of this show is. I can't tell you other than, they're funny. There's a lot of funny situations. I think they're starting to bring some of the side characters in a little bit more, which I think will be helpful. Rose Byrne has a best friend, Carla Gallo. Her name plays a character named Katie. Hilarious, the hilarious best friend, and so but that's it. It's like I'm 4 episodes in. There's I think 10 episodes and there's 5 out. So it's on Apple TV and it's one of those. It's releasing weekly. It wasn't like Ted Lasso where we canceled plans because we didn't want to miss the final episode airing the second it aired. So we're finding out that the 5th episode. I didn't rush, because it's not like I don't even know where they're going with this show, but it's enjoyable. It's funny to watch. I wouldn't say run. Shrinking. I'd say go watch Shrinking. Make sure you rewatch Ted Lasso. But I do enjoy this show. It's a good show just to kind of put in, watch a couple episodes. You might get distracted. You can go back. You're not gonna miss anything. You're not gonna forget something that's important. At least it's just there's some dynamics. He's got the ex-wife. He's her brother. So have you seen it?
No, is it? But what I'm wondering is it moving toward the two of them connecting romantically?
Right.
No, I think the whole idea is they do not get together.
They do not.
Right.
Oh, okay, wow.
But that's disappointing. The audience wants that for sure. I mean, I'm sure everyone goes into that wanting that.
Rose and Seth have been together in Neighbors and Neighbors 2.
Yeah.
So they have some chemistry.
Okay.
She's an underrated comedic actress. She is so good in almost I think everything that I've seen her in.
Have you watched Physical?
I did not see. I haven't seen that, but I know that she's
you're gonna like it, but
yeah,
I like it.
I think Howard Rosner loved it.
He and I happen to have, which is why I'm his sub.
A lot of
he
people
and I have
love
a
that
lot
show.
in common, but she is. I mean, that's why. I mean, I met her in with Glenn Close. What's it called? What was she in with Glenn Close as the attorney?
Rose Byrne?
No, yeah, she was
She
the
was
attorney
with
wasn't
Glenn
she?
Close?
With Glenn Close.
Rose
Okay,
Byrne.
we'll get.
I don't know why I can't think of that.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Wait,
she
was
the
it a
attorney? And it was like dramatic. It
Huh.
was dangerous, and Glenn Close was a crazy. Anyway,
I know she
and
was in Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway.
she is very funny. But
She
I
was
watched
in
wait, did you
Bridesmaids. She was not
Bridesmaids.
necessarily funny in that. She was the
Something
pain, you know,
mean.
constantly irritated best friend, but she was good.
Oh no, she was really good in that.
Yeah.
The so did you guys ever hear this show? Did you know it existed before?
No,
No.
See,
No.
so that's the funny thing. So that says a lot, right?
Yeah.
Seth Rogen, Rose Byrne, they have a show on Apple Plus, and this is the first you're hearing of it, and it's
Well-
brand new. It's 5 weeks in. It's brand new, so it's a month and a half almost, and you're not even aware of it.
Partly because it's Apple Plus. I gave up. My kids gave me the Apple Plus adapter, whatever the flip it was, 2 years ago for Father's Day. I said, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I don't want any. I don't want any more streaming.
Are you talking about the box, or are you talking about the channel?
No, the box and the pain in the ass.
Oh, because you used to
Thought
need
it's
the
an app.
box,
It's not
but
an
now
app.
now it's
You
an
just
app.
do it on the road
Yes,
too.
I know, but
Get rid of that
I know, but back then I was like, I'm not doing this again. I don't
Oh.
want to do this to watch one show or
But
two.
you didn't see Shrinking then. You're missing.
I
a lot.
Ted
haven't
Lasso.
seen
I
any.
know.
I haven't seen anything on Apple.
I didn't
Oh my
straighten my
goodness
apps
gracious!
down. That's
That
what
means
I
you
did.
haven't
I'm
seen
sending an
Shmoogagoo?
IT crew to your house.
You haven't seen Shmoogagan?
No, but I know that's really I'm exposing myself as the old crotchety man that I am.
Dude, Ted Lasso is
I'm
there.
gonna
Back-
Fix your
I
antenna
know.
on your roof.
I know.
That antenna going.
I wanted
I'm
to
Bob
watch.
Phillips, and back in my day, if you wanted to watch Apple TV, you had to have a device. And
You had to have
plug
an
that device
Apple.
in. You had to have Apple.
I know it's terrible.
Put apples on the antenna on the TV and aluminum foil.
It might as well have
That's
been
Apple
that. That
TV.
was where my mind went. But I wanted to watch that Tom Hanks, the big movie that was the coming out party for Apple TV.
Yes,
He-
on
he
the
put-
sub, on the.
Yes, and I
submarine.
thought, and I couldn't get it. I'm like, fuck this. I'm never watching this channel. I'm never going to spend a dime on it. I'm so mad at all these things I got to sign up for,
See?
which is really bad for being on a show
Yeah.
called
We
We
Crossing
never
the
would have
Line.
been on jury duty with that.
No,
interview.
true. I know.
Bob,
Jeff,
being
I
on
saw
this
this
show,
show.
it's a tax write-off.
I got.
I watched-
I know.
I watched your show. I watched Platonic.
Oh, you saw
Um,
Platonic?
I
Okay.
saw. So I'm in. Here's what you need to know. I'm also in up to like 4 episodes. However, I saw the first episode maybe about 25 minutes, and I woke up, and it was on the 4th episode, and I had drool all over my face, and I needed to go to bed. So I've been through about 20 minutes of the first episode, and that's all I remember. I don't remember her having a sister or a best friend. I don't even remember who that was. But I will go back, and it was enjoyable, but it was just, I shouldn't have been starting a show that late and that intoxicated.
It's enjoyable, but it's like
No,
I'm saying, walk, don't run. But
Right.
but check it out. It's
Yeah,
totally
I
a,
will.
it's
But
totally
see-
a fun show.
would it be fair to assume that Seth Rogen does not want it to remain platonic between the two of them?
No, I don't think I
don't
don't
think
get the
anyone-
impression at
Oh, okay.
all that
All right.
either
No
of them might-
audience member wants something platonic. We all want.
Yes, but
That's
he's
what-
sort of a nebbishy guy, and you know, Rose Byrne is gorgeous. I just thought maybe that was the
Right.
tension in the show.
No, I think it's they're legit besties.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
And then again, her husband is like hot, and so there's a good chance she's not going to get with Seth
Oh,
Rogen. But
okay,
the show I
gotcha.
was thinking of earlier was Damages.
Mm.
Damages.
Damages,
Glenn
okay.
Close and
I-
Rose,
yeah.
and that's where I met her.
Ah,
And she was so good. Who knew she was funny in
Yeah.
the Bridesmaids? And I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, you're funny too. So
yeah.
she's awesome.
She's awesome.
I
All
will
right.
keep watching.
You know what else is awesome? Yet another episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh.
Unsolved mysteries.
Oh man,
Bobby
not
in
the-
bags.
not this episode. Boy, this is 2 shows in a row where I have next to nothing good to say about.
Oh no.
what I viewed. I first of all, I love, I've reviewed probably half a dozen of these. There's 3 seasons of it on Netflix, and there's what is that, 10 episodes, so 30
you are
episodes.
to unsolved mysteries what Sal is to rom-coms.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
This I've watched 30 of them, and without fail, they have always been gripping and entertaining and sort of educational on the the forensics of things. And but this one, I really I don't know what happened with this. They forgot their formula right from the jump. This is it's called Body in Bags. All right. And it's the story of a man who was murdered, who's from Melvindale, Michigan.
Wow.
A young man. He's got a son. I think he's 30. I think he's 34, and his son is like 18. He's a high school football player, good-looking kid. The mother and father are not married, but they're not antagonistic. They're not estranged. They're co-parenting. Well, the father winds up getting with this gal who's completely possessive, out of her mind, and instantly the family hates her. And you find out all of this within 4.5 minutes. You know who killed this man. You know why this man was killed. And there's none of that unsolved mysteries tension and how they sort of drib things out little by little. And you think you're onto something, and they go, nope, it's really this. Everything you think in the first 5 minutes is exactly what happens. And there's just you know what it is? It's like watching a WDIV 10-minute reporting on a man who was murdered, and he's found in 3 different places because his body is cut in 3 different sections.
What sections, Bob?
Yeah, well, from the waist down, and then the torso to the neck, and then his head. And they keep finding these bags of parts off of I-75 in between Detroit and like 40 miles into Ohio. And so, like I said, exactly who did it. You know why she did it. But they keep trying to. It's like I don't know what happened. None of the tension is there. None of the spookiness. None of the usual. Oh, but there's this. It's like it's all spelled out for you, and for 45 minutes you're going, "Wow, this chick's a bitch." And then, here's the only thing that you don't know, and that is her whereabouts, because they haven't found her.
Well, let me ask you, Bob, do they go into the type of bag used? Like, was it a Glad Tall Kitchen, maybe Hefty Strong?
I was thinking,
actually, yes, they do.
Louis Vuitton luggage.
No,
drawstring. Was there a drawstring involved?
Like I can tell you, the places or the things where the bodies were put. One was a sleeping bag tied in the middle and dumped off, 20 feet off the side of 75. And that was the waist down portion. And then they found his head a day later in a bag that this woman had bought, like a child's school bag. It was like a My Little Pony or some shit. So his head was in this. So that's gruesome. That's horrible. And then the rest of him, from the neck to the waist and his arms, was in a. I think it was just like a bag, like a garbage bag or something. But
was that like the mystery where like they were like,
no,
what bag is left? And then somebody goes, wait a minute, I know. There's only one bag. There's a delivery of bags at the Maya's at 4:00 tomorrow.
No,
he's gonna strike and he's gonna put a body part in there. Let's go. And that's how they captured it.
That would have made sense if they had, they looked at surveillance footage of a Myers at 2:00 in the morning, and here was this woman buying a My Little Pony bag, and I forget what it was. I don't know. And then his head was in it,
and a machete.
Yeah, So yeah.
My Little Pony and a machete.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk to her. Well, anyway, you know exactly who this woman is. It was his girlfriend. They say they hate her 3 minutes in. You know she killed him. You know why she killed him. But the only thing is they haven't found her yet. And I just couldn't believe that they deviated so much from the formula that makes that series so engrossing. So
was the goal of this to try and get people to help them find it? Did
no.
they go like America's Most Wanted a little bit on you?
I mean, you know how the old one was with Robert Stack, call this number. I mean, they do the same on this one. It's more subdued. But that they've had surveillance footage of her in some place on the East Coast. She had taken an Amtrak from Detroit to Chicago and then doubled back and wound up in New York State. And they had footage of her checking into some really shitty motel. And then that's where the trail went cold. And that's the end of the thing. It was like, now I'm not going to say it wasn't touching. It was. This poor family had been through absolute hell. But as the way that show normally goes, it was a flop.
Well, was there a motive? If I missed it, I apologize. Was there
The motive
or something?
She was just a jealous, possessive, psycho.
Angry.
Yeah,
Okay.
just angry, and everybody knew it the first time they met her. And literally you hear those words within the first 3 minutes of this show.
What's her name? What's her name?
I can't remember. I didn't even care
Rose
to remember.
Byrne.
Might as well have been. So they don't know who killed this man, which is awful. And the fact that it was in Melvindale was interesting to me.
Yeah.
And then Devin Skillian was on, and whoever else.
Skillian.
He was on. They
The newscaster.
Yeah, the WDIV footage. Just trying to, get another.
Right.
I don't know. It was. It's sad, but not compelling. I mean, I want her to be caught because she's crazy and she destroyed this family. But just as the show, and because we're reviewing shows here, it was not good.
Okay. Had to skip that one.
Yeah.
But she did a good job because she's still out there. She did good.
she's
good.
out there.
But whoever did this show messed it up.
Yeah.
All right. So
Well,
stay
good
away
job,
from
Bob.
body and bags. All
Body
right. Well,
and
we're at the end of the
bags.
show, guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Marcy officially in the
All
song.
right,
It's a big
show.
day. It's a big day.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Look at the
Thank
forced
you.
perspective of that.
How are you doing that? What?
I don't know. I'm
That's
like
a
pretending I'm a young kid that knows what I'm doing. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
What happened? The piece. Okay. I don't know what it.
That was
Bunny
a good
Rabbit.
show.
Bunny Rabbit.
Bunny Rabbit.
All right. Say goodnight, Marcy.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Bob, say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. If you're in the Dayton, Ohio area this Friday or Saturday, come see me and my pal Dave Landau at the Dayton Funny Bone.
Oh, that's a good show.
It's a very good show.
Sal.
Thanks, Jerry.
SalDemilio.com. Thanks, Jerry, for always tuning in. I'm Sal D'Amelio. Listen to the Sal and Bob Show on all your app platforms.
Oh, and I'm Jeff Dwoskin. Check out Classic Conversations. Check us out here. We'll see you next time. And that has been another episode of Crossing the Streams. Join us every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Facebook and YouTube. Follow the Jeff Dwoskin Show on YouTube to be alerted every time we go live with your hosts, Jeff Dwoskin, Ron Lippett, Howard Rosner, Bob Phillips, Sal D'Amelio. We're all in the socials. Follow us, listen to our podcast, Classic Conversations, and the Sal and Bob Show. Check them all out, and we'll see you next week and every week when we cross more streams right here. See you then.